What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and as you can tell by the title of today's review, this is not any old beer review. No, it is the 2000th beer review here on the channel, and to celebrate the occasion, I am reviewing a beer from Nøgne Ø, and they are out of Grimstad, Norway, and this is their Dark Horizon First Edition. So they're calling this one an ale brewed with coffee, but this beer is much, much more than that, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes. It comes in at 16% alcohol by volume, 75 IBUs, and at the time of review, I don't know exactly how old this bottle is. However, this beer right here was released back in 2007, making this bottle at least 16 years old, and it could be closer to 17 years old. However, it's just really, really old. And I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a friend of mine, Ethan, who gave me this one back in the mid to late 2010s. I want to say it was between 2015 and 2017. Now, Ethan is somebody who is responsible, good or bad, for my craft beer journey. He is the beer manager at one of my favorite local bottle shops, Premier Gourmet. They're located in Amherst, New York, here in the Buffalo, New York region. And I've been going there for the past 14 to 15 years. And Ethan has really shown me the light when it comes to so many different styles, especially, I didn't even notice there's something here on the cap, especially when it comes to like imported, say Belgian, English, German, Scandinavian beers. Like, he showed me so much, right? And he was nice enough to give me a bottle of this back, like I said, about somewhere between, say, 7 to 9 years ago. I would occasionally bring him beers from when I'd go on like beer trips and stuff. And the one time I came in, he had this one waiting for me. And I've been saving this one to review, or not even to review, to just drink at some point for some sort of special occasion. And I think this fits the bill. So absolutely huge thanks to Ethan for this one. I'm super stoked to get in this one. Now, if you want to get right into the review, I'd say fast forward a couple minutes. But we're going to read the back of this one. We're talking a little bit about this beer in general. So number one, I think they only made 6,000 bottles of Dark Horizon First Edition. This is the 2,562nd bottle, so 2562. And I don't know how good my camera will pick it up, but it says right there for sure. Well, where is it right there? Where is it? Right there. And they have a spiel on the back. It says, Dark Horizon is a hybrid, an ale that pairs the roasted bitterness of coffee with wine-like complexity. Dark Horizon is indeed a global brew with inspiration from the USA, malt from England, bottles from Germany, the name from Japan, sugars from Mauritius, hops from the Pacific Rim, yeast from Canada, coffee from Colombia, and of course, our brewing skills here in Norway. Do yourself a favor and share this bottle with those you deem worthy. I'm not sharing this beer, and is that a bad thing? It could be, but at the end of the day, I've been saving this one, and I thought, hey, we're going to do it. So it says right on there, Dark Horizon First Edition. And then it has, I think that's Japanese on the back. And yeah, we're going to throw it back on there after I pour it. So again, a very old beer. Couple things when it comes to this beer specifically. Number one, is it infected? It was in my cellar for the last 7-9 years. Before that it was in Ethan's cellar. I have no idea. Has the coffee held up? Did it turn into the green pepper that a lot of folks get? If it's not infected, how's the carbonation levels? And most importantly, is it delicious? We're going to answer that. Now, I contemplated open this one off camera because if it explodes, it's going to go everywhere. I do have paper towels over here. Hopefully it doesn't explode. And yeah, I'm really curious to see how this one is. And I'm going to crack it open, try to pour it. I'm using my Genesee Brewhouse little snifter. Why? Why not? Genesee Brewhouse, shout out. All right, here we go. Let's try to think, or try to see if we can hear the hiss and everything. Here we go. Okay, it's not exploding. There was a decent hiss, wasn't crazy. It's not rising. Okay, so that part's good. The bottom of the cap looks absolutely gross. So there's that. Yeah, that looks disgusting. We're gonna throw this over here like that, and we are gonna pour this. Let's get a beautiful pour. I'm gonna pour it so you guys can actually see the pour, and we're gonna try to do something like label out. Here we go. Oh, that's a beautiful sound. Go a little heavy here with the pour. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's very, very carbonated. I'm curious to see how oxidized this one is too, but We're gonna find out. Like I said, it's like they're talking about. There's wine. There's there's the bitterness, roasted malt quality. We'll see. But yeah, that looks like it says ale with coffee, but that kind of looks like I would say more of like a a big Imperial Stout, Imperial Porter. There's alcohol legs for sure. There's sheets. Yeah, not much carbonation, which you kind of expect out of a beer this old that didn't have any wax on it or anything. Poured into the glass is pitch black, but like at the bottom here, there's like a dark brown. Yeah, I mean, it honestly looks exactly how I expected it to, right? It's not super carbonated. There's almost no carbonation. It's dark, has a lot of alcohol legs, and it looks nice. Now, the head that I could probably generate is more of like a straight up brown color. Let's see if we can generate any kind of head here. Yeah, no, you really can't. But yeah, it kind of looks like, yeah, it looks like it would be like a straight on brown color. So what does that look like? Looks like a 16 to 17-year-old beer. That's what it looks like to me. Anyway, let's get a nose. So off the rip, it doesn't smell infected. I mean, I just had that that Black Ops, right, from Brooklyn, and that right off the rip was like very acidic. You could tell it was like vinegar. No, there's a little bit of that, like they're talking like red wine kind of feature, sure. Like there is. Oh man, what is that? There's a big umami character that can have, and I've had that happen with very old bottles of bigger beers like old ales, barley wine, stouts. It has that umami, rich umami character. There's caramel, there's toffee, there's a lot of like blackstrap molasses. There's a lot of molasses. There's molasses, but there's also like very rich like fudgy chocolate. And then there's this nice red wine kind of sherry influence. And again, that's probably, now I'm reviewing this a couple days after I reviewed the Whodunit beer review from Kenny, who also works at Premier Gourmet. He, I don't want to do the spoilers, but let's just say that beer was oxidized and had this sherry character. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. It has this like sherry character for sure. It has like a sweeter red wine kind of feel to it. There's the fruitiness. There's like red grapes. There's cherry. There's a little bit of like even like a berry character, like a raspberry. Now the coffee, here's the beauty. In the nose, there is no green pepper, but the coffee's kind of died out. There's a slight roasted kind of quality here, but I feel like it's coming more from the malts than it is the actual coffee. There's a touch of vanilla, leather and tobacco. It almost smells, sherry barrel aged more so than anything else, and this is not, totally not barrel aged. It smells boozy, it's 16%, smells boozy, but not overly so. That Whodunit beer, which was 4% lower, was definitely more boozy than this. Oh, it smells really, really good. And I just want to drink it. And that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks to Ethan, and thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. 2,000 beer reviews. Here's to 2,000 more. Cheers. Got to put this back on. Let me tell you something. That is fucking wild. That is like 16 to 17 years old. It's really fun. Ooh, it's real good. Obviously, the biggest detriment to this beer right now is the fact that it's almost still. There's a very light carbonation. Like I'm talking like 2%, right? If you did 0 to 100, it'd be like 2%. It'd be 2 out of 100 carbonation wise. Yeah, so not a ton of carbonation. The body itself isn't like huge and like overly viscous, but it's full, right? It's definitely full bodied, maybe like medium to full bodied, like medium full, we'll say. It's nice. The mouthfeel, because it's basically still at this point, it's very soft, obviously. It's smooth. There's not really creaminess here, but I think the mouthfeel's fine. In fact, I'm okay with it being pretty much devoid of most of the carbonation. Like, it's okay with me. Would I like to see maybe a touch of carbonation here a little bit more? Sure, but it almost drinks like a spirit, and it's 60%, like you're kind of in that realm, right? It's creeping towards it. So the body's nice and appropriate. The mouthfeel, a little lacking, but also appropriate for what I expect this beer to be based on the age. The taste is so fucking complex though. Like the aging has done this wonders. I don't even know where to begin. All right, so up front, there's a shit ton of malt, and it's almost like a blend. I don't know, like, what's the best way to explain this one? Almost like a Black Forest cake, because I'm getting a ton of like fudgy, like cakey, like chocolate character, like sweet dark chocolate. I'm getting vanilla. There is a lot of dark fruits here, cherry, raspberry, again, that red wine. It's almost like someone did like a reduction of like sherry and did like a sherry glaze on top. It's like a Black Forest cake with like a sherry glaze on it. It's fucking crazy. I'm not getting any coffee. There is no coffee, whether good or bad in this one. There's no really roasted character left in the taste for me. Maybe a very slight roasted malt, but it's definitely not coffee. However, the coffee that's in here, there's no green pepper, which is awesome. There's brown sugar, caramel, toffee, caramelized sugars for sure. There's a slight nuttiness going on. Touch of that tobacco and leather. While I'm talking about a Black Forest cake with a sherry reduction, right, glaze or whatever, what's going on here is, me just pulling things out of my ass like I do because of the beer patrol. But it's not crazy sweet because this beer, believe it or not, is incredibly dry, like a dry red wine, like on the finish. It's insane. Like first 3/4 of palate is just like, oh my God, like it's a malt bomb. There's so much fucking things going on. Like it's crazy. And then the back is like, wow, that's dry. No bitterness to speak of, but really, really dry. That umami character was more in the nose, but there's a little bit of like an umami presence on the taste, which I'm fine with. And again, the age of this one, yeah, sure. 16%, big warm in my chest. Nothing on the palate. I mean, I can tell this is a big beer, but if I was doing it blind, like the whodunit I did earlier this week, I wouldn't guess probably over 12, maybe 13%. The fact that it's 16%, it has mellowed out a lot over the years. This is really fucking nice. Like, wow, it's delicious. It's honestly delicious. There are some things, I got a docket for, obviously, the lack of carbonation, the lack of coffee, this, being brewed with coffee, but that's more user error, right? Like if I drank this relatively fresh, I'm sure the coffee was popping, and not even fresh. Like if I would have drank it 7-8 years ago, probably coffee's a little bit more apparent, and I'd imagine the carbonation was a little bit, bigger. As is though, like you got to take in consideration, this is 16 to 17 years old. There are no off flavors. It's not infected. It's not even, like there is oxidation here, right? That's probably where that sherry component's coming from, is the oxidation, right? But there's no negative oxidation for me, like cardboard or some kind of off flavor that isn't sherry, because I feel like when the beer becomes oxidized and you get that sherry flavor, I love sherry, so I view it as a positive, even though a lot of people wouldn't. Again, teach their own, beer, subjective. I know this is gonna sound bad, but there's a little bit like cherry cola vibes too, as I just took that sip. There's a lot of dark fruit, so they say, like, what did they say on the back? Yeah, a wine-like complexity, for sure. Has the dryness of like a dry red wine. It also has a lot of fruity characters, again, from the cherry to the raspberry to the red grapes, that sherry component. Like it has all of that stuff, but there's still a beautiful base beer here. Outside of wanting more roasted, 3 things I'd want: more roasted malt or coffee, right? One of the two, some kind of roasted quality. I want more carbonation. And I kind of want more of just like knowing this is like, they call it an ale, but like, again, it's more in like that base stout and, porter realm. It's a darker beer. Like I want a little bit more of that beery property from that. Outside of that, it's really good. The vanilla is popping as well. This is really good. I'm actually going to pour a little bit more because I'm going to save this. I might share it with a couple friends. Even my pops might want some of this. Carbonation bothers him nowadays, so I think this is something that he would really enjoy because of the lack of carbonation in this one. I'm good for a rating. Listen, I would give this a 5 out of 5 if the carbonation was there and I got a little bit more of that like beer quality to it, right? Like the base beer itself. As is though, the fact this is fucking as old as it is and it's as delicious as it is, the complexity through the roof, it's a delicious beer. it drinks more like, you know, again, more of like like they say, like a wine complexity, but like into like a lower ABV spirit. I still think this is held up extremely well. I've had the Dark Horizon, was it the 4th or 5th edition at a bottle share about 5 or 6 years ago with a lot of my Canadian beer tubing friends, and that was really good. This is better despite the fact that it lacks the carbonation and is much older, but yeah, 75 IBUs, not anymore. Yeah, I'm going to give this a really good rating because not like I always say, like, you know, beer is about the atmosphere. Like, think about it like this. And again, this is going to be a long review, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's the 2000th review. You can fast forward, whatever. If you made it to the end, just say, here's to 2,000 more, Joe. That's it. Here's to 2,000 more. Not even 2,000 more beer reviews, 2,000 more. I like doing that. I like to see who watches to the end. But, and this isn't even the end. You know, I don't even know where I was now. I'm getting hammered at this point. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. You know, I don't fucking have any idea where I am right now. Oh, the rating and like the atmosphere and the beers and whatnot. I always say, you know, atmosphere plays a huge role in like your setting, right? If you're in a shitty mood and you're drinking shitty beer, you're going to think the shitty beer is even more shitty than it already is. If you're in a great mood and you're drinking shitty beer, you might think that shitty beer is better than what it is. And it makes even, you know, great beers even more great when you're in a good mood, right? And it makes great beers when you're in a shitty mood less great. Atmosphere, setting plays a huge role. In this setting, a 2,000 beer review, drinking a 16 to 17-year-old bottle of beer that hasn't gone sideways is fucking cool. And it plays a role. So I'm going to give this beer appropriate rating. Is it the best beer I drank this year? No. Is it far off? Not that far off. But it's, you know, it's a decent... Anyway, whatever. Fucking... What am I even talking about anymore? Anyway, Dark Horizon, first edition from Nøgne Ø. I'm going to give this a... we'll go 4.75 out of 5. I think I got to ding it for the lack of carbonation and the fact that, like, the base beer, like the roastiness, the roasted malt character and the coffee isn't really present. But do I give a shit? No, because I'm going to drink the rest of what's in my glass, share the rest of this, and we're going to enjoy every second of it. And it's just fucking cool as shit. So huge thanks to Ethan out there who gave me a bottle of this. I don't think Ethan watches any of my reviews, and I don't expect him to. He knows, he probably has forgotten more beer than I actually know. But I'm going to show him this review because hopefully he watches it and see how this beer kind of held up. The fact that he gave it to me, and, you know, only 6,000 bottles in the world. Pretty fucking rare beer. I didn't even look. Like, I wonder what like secondary prices for something like this is at this point. I don't know. I don't give a shit because I don't play that game. I just drink the beer and review it. Price point availability, I have no fucking idea. Let's just say it came out in 2007. It was very hard to get. Ethan apparently got a decent amount of them, so awesome. And it was cool that he shared it with, and the aforementioned Kenny, he also reviewed this recently. He said it was delicious as well, so he didn't review it. Did I just say he fucking drank it, Joe? He didn't review it. Kenny, if you watch this, he totally didn't review it, but he drank it. And he said it was really good, and he's not lying. It is really good. It's fucking delicious. And like I said, price point, I have no idea. I'd imagine the price point on this wasn't crazy back in 2007, but like if you're paying even like 25, 30 bucks a bottle for this all day, every day, 16%, you know, ale with coffee, but like the rarity and whatnot, I would easily paid, you know, 30 bucks for this, no doubt. And it is it's a 500 milliliter bottle, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to keep on moving around, but yeah. 1 pint, 0.9 fluid ounces. So 16.9 fluid ounces, 500 milliliter bottle. So if you had a chance to try this one at any point in your lifetime over the past 16 to 17 years, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this one. For those of you who have had maybe not this one, but other editions of it, what do you think? What do you think about Nøgne Ø in general? I've had a handful of beers from them over the years, including the aforementioned Dark Horizon. I want to say it was the 4th edition, maybe the 5th. I said that already, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the 2. But I've had other beers from them. I really like what they do. It's crazy this is the first beer I'm reviewing from them on the channel, but, you know, if it's going to be the first beer review I review from them on the channel, at least it's a 2000 beer review. Am I slurring my words? I drank like 4 ounces of this. This is you know what? I don't smoke at all in general, like nothing in my lifetime. I would imagine if you are a cigar drinker out there, this would pair perfectly with a cigar. I'm almost getting, again, I said like tobacco and leather a little bit, like I'm almost getting like a cigar paper type of thing going on. or what I would like, again, because I don't smoke at all. The cigar paper, or like the aroma you would get from somebody smoking a cigar, because I've been around many people who've smoked cigars, but like I just think this would pair perfectly with a cigar for those of you out there who do smoke cigars. Like this is, I don't even worry about like if this was a beer that had a lot of carbonation, I'd be like, I better stop the review and go cap that because I don't lose carbonation. There's no carbonation to lose basically. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, it can be oxidized a little bit, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So once again, thanks to everybody out there who supported the channel. 2000th beer review in the book. Plural, books, Joe. Books. I plan on starting Viewer's Choice Cellar Sunday sometime this year. And when I do, you can expect every single beer to be like this. No, not really. But I do have a lot of beers in my cellar. Nothing like a good friend of mine, a fellow beer tuber, Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews. He just did his cellar, like he did his like, what is it, the beer behind the man clickbait, Kyle? Huh? No, but he did that, and it was cool to see all the different beers he had cellar. I don't have anything like that, but I do have a decent cellar where I do have some beers that I need to get to at some point. And I know some are not going to turn out like this. Some are going to be just as good as this, maybe even better. Who knows? But this might be the precursor to me starting Viewer's Choice Cellar Sunday, where you guys vote on the beers I review for my cellar. We'll have to make that a reality this year. That's the goal, and we're going to try. I just got to organize it a little bit, and then we'll make it a reality. Anyway, probably 25-minute review. I don't give a shit. Whatever. At the end of the day, thanks to Ethan. Thanks to you guys. And yeah, check back for another beer review tomorrow, which will be 2001 as far as beer reviews go. And I'm going to drink the rest of the beer in my glass, cap that, share it, enjoy it, and we'll be on to the next one. Till then. Cheers.